You just opened a repository with 40 chain prompts, 3 custom output parsers, and a comment that reads, "Do not touch this. It works." Nobody on your team wrote it. The person who did left 8 months ago, and now it's throwing a deprecation warning every time it runs. So the question isn't whether this code base is a mess. It's whether you fix it, migrate it to CrewAI, or torch the whole thing and start over. Let's be honest about what you actually inherited. LangChain projects from a year or 2 ago tend to look nothing like current documentation. You've got LLM chain and sequential chain classes that are now soft deprecated, memory objects wired in ways that no tutorial explains anymore, and a tangle of .run calls that don't map cleanly onto the newer LCEL pipe syntax. The code isn't wrong, exactly. It's just frozen in a version of the framework that moved on without it. Before you decide anything, spend a day just reading. Find the entry point and trace one full request from input to output. Map every external call, which LLM providers, which vector store, which APIs get hit. Write down the actual business logic hiding underneath the framework noise, because that's the part with real value. 9 times out of 10, the genuinely important code is maybe 200 lines of prompt engineering and control flow, buried under 1,000 lines of boilerplate the framework required at the time. Now, the case for staying and modernizing in place. If the system works and the logic is sound, you can incrementally migrate LangChain's old chains to the current expression language without changing behavior. You keep your battle-tested prompts, your edge case handling, the weird retry logic someone added at 2 a.m. that turns out to prevent a real production failure. This is the lowest risk path, and it's almost always the right first move. Rewriting working software from scratch is how teams lose 6 months and reintroduce bugs they'd already solved. The case for CrewAI is different, and it's about structure, not survival. If your inherited codebase is really a bunch of agents pretending to be chains, a research step, a writing step, a review step, all hacked together with manual orchestration, then CrewAI's model of agents, tasks, and crews might express that intent far more cleanly. You'd define each agent's role and goal explicitly, hand off tasks between them, and delete a huge amount of glue code. But understand the trade-off. You're adopting CrewAI's opinions about how multi-agent systems should work. And if your problem isn't actually multi-agent, you're forcing a shape onto something that doesn't need it. Here's the decision framework I'd actually use. If the code works and it's a linear pipeline, modernize the LangChain in place and move on with your life. If the code is a genuine multi-agent workflow that's fighting the framework, extract the business logic first, then rebuild that logic on CrewAI. Not a rewrite, a rehosting. And if the code doesn't work, isn't understood, and nobody can even tell you what it's supposed to do, then a full rewrite might be justified, but only after you've documented the intended behavior well enough to test against it. The trap almost everyone falls into is rewriting for cleanliness rather than for capability. A tidy code base that does exactly what the old one did is not progress, it's motion. Rewrite when the new architecture unlocks something the old one couldn't do, or when maintenance cost genuinely exceeds the cost of replacement. Not because unfamiliar code makes you uncomfortable. So read it, map it, and preserve the logic that earns its keep. Modernize when you can, migrate to CrewAI when the shape truly calls for it, and rewrite only when you can prove it's worth it. The messiest inherited codebase is still a working system. Treat it with a little more respect than the urge to delete deserves.